Don't you feel like we, the American people right now, are being caught in the rhetorical crossfire between Elon Musk, the world's richest man, and President Donald Trump, the world's most powerful man? Because I sure do. It is always just, it's one of those things where you see two titans go at it, and you go at it in a very personal way, and you wonder what the heck is going on. The breaking bromance. Roshini Rajkumar, our guest host of the Crisis Files podcast. And I don't know. To me, this is pretty crazy, the whole story. It started really with Elon Musk dissenting and protesting, opposing the big, beautiful bill. And yesterday, President Trump said the following. I'm going to play this clip where he was at least trying to be pleasant to Musk.
Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting and very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is.
But then, of course, Musk said kill Bill, as in kill that bill. He said that Trump was a liar when Trump said that Elon had gone ahead and supported this privately and then suddenly left the office or left the position at Doge and the White House and started attacking him. Elon calling him a liar. Ultimately, you had yesterday the biggest claim, which was he's on the Epstein files, and that's why they weren't released. That's from Elon Musk. Meanwhile, President Trump saying, hey, this guy is Trump derangement syndrome, all of that. So that's a long lead-in for you, Roshini Rajkumar. Your take.
Well, the war of words, not surprising to me by these two men. But it gets to where you kind of have to really step back. And as I say to my clients, assess your audience before you even speak up in the first place. In this case, at this point, both sides should assess their audience. And Elon Musk really needs to assess what he's up against here. It's Trump. He's the president of the United States. He has a lot of Republican backing. And even if Elon Musk is trying to drive that wedge in the Republican Party or make many Republicans go against Trump, it's a very big uphill battle. So assess the audience, Elon. And then my advice to both sides is take the weekend off, stay out of the news cycle for a bit, because everyone's going to be talking about it all weekend. You're not going to be out of the news, but just stop saying stuff for 48 or 72 hours.
Wait, Roshini, you were talking
about my logical advice.
But these are two people who crave the attention.
Yes, they do crave the attention. I do think, as you pointed out with the clip you played, Trump was trying to be softer in the beginning. But if you're gonna wave the Jeffrey Epstein thing in front of Trump, he's probably got to come back with maybe not it wasn't me, but something else about Elon, and we landed with this Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, it just gets preposterous and crazy. I don't think any American is really losing sleep over it, but what this does affect are actual markets, actual companies, and people's livelihoods. So Elon Musk has a fiduciary duty to his company, to his board, and his stockholders. So that's something to be thinking about as a separate thing before he goes and flouts his mouth or takes his megaphone somewhere. The other piece of this, Jimmy, that I just don't want people to forget is anything connected to the big, beautiful bill, 2 bills, 3 bills, whatever it ends up being. That is the role, that is the job of the United States Congress, both the House and the Senate, to hash out things in legislation, in bills, before they are passed into law. So it really does start first with those members of the House and members of the Senate.
Yeah.
And that's where the influence has to be. And then, of course, they want to put something together that the president will sign into law. But it is ultimately the Congress that is working through and hashing through these bills.
I want to get your reaction to two different things that I think each help to underscore the absurdity of the whole situation. Roshini Rajkumar. One is a tweet that was put out by someone I'm betting, is someone on the left, too, from one or two of the words used. But tweeted out this. So Elon goes, kill the bill. And Trump goes, Elon has TDS. So Elon goes, I'm the reason Trump won. So Trump goes, we waste billions on Elon. So Elon goes, Epstein. And a flunky goes, deport. And Elon goes, impeach. And that's why women are too emotional to be president.
Oh, my gosh.
Your reaction.
Oh, my gosh. And this is why, if that were on the X platform,
yes.
This is why a lot of people are fleeing X. And X is really known for these kinds of bot battles or other deranged people's battles. I mean, this is why both Elon Musk and President Donald Trump need to step back, be quiet for a while, because when they speak, people do listen.
Yeah.
And even when they are spewing things that are preposterous. So this is where when we go back to the root of the things I do, Jimmy, the executive coaching for leaders, the strategy for messaging, you always have to be above. You have to have some executive mindset when you know you are in a position of leadership and have the absolute potential to influence thousands, if not millions of people. So both of these men are behaving badly. They should stop, and they should definitely shut their mouths.
Now, we have a very exclusive recording from a very, very real President Trump talking about the relationship and bromance between him and Elon Musk. Take a listen to this exclusive clip.
I was talking with a very great director friend of mine, a Hollywood director, pretty good guy, actually. I won't say his name because he's shy. And a few months ago, he said, Mr. President, you should really make a bromance movie about you and Elon. I thought, that's a great idea. Let's call it When Elon Met Donald. And it would have happened, too. It would have been a very nice bromance, kind of like a Casablanca. Casablanca, which means White House in Moroccan. But now they might as well call it When Harry Stabbed Sally in the Back. Ouch! Of course, my role will go to Brad Pitt because of the obvious resemblance. Elon will be played, unfortunately, by a slobbering 15-year-old Labrador retriever with, unfortunately, only one good eye. Sad but accurate.
I don't know. I think that, from my friend Mark Corgan, that, I think, encapsulates the height of absurdity of this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have to question whether that is a legitimate recording, but it's certainly hilarious. And I think it really is an exclamation point on this whole ridiculous bromance breakup. It really is.
Which is why the best satire is the one that you hear and you're like, wait a second, is this the real guy for 1 second?
Right.
And then it's not.
As Jimmy, as we used to say when I was a TV reporter, real life.
Yes.
It is stranger than fiction.
Yes, it is. Finally, Roshini Rajkumar, before we let you go, just kind of encapsulate for us, is this something that they could, like, I was talking earlier, my grandfather made this point. They both need each other. I think they're going to, figuratively speaking, he said, kiss and make up, and they'll be friends again, or at least work in a relationship. Obviously, they've been at odds in the past. How do you think this goes forward?
Well, is it possible for them to kiss and make up? Yes. I mean, if George W. and Clinton can become best buddies and go on the road together on their speaking tours, anything is possible. I just think, I don't know that both of these men have shown such volatility. I just don't know where trust could be had. That's where we are. And when you don't have trust, you really have nothing.
And I would actually ask, did they have trust when he was brought into the administration originally? Because I actually don't know for sure that was the case.
Good question. Very good question.
check out the Crisis Files podcast on the iHeartRadio app and at thecrisisfiles.com. Roshini Rajkumar, its host and our guest. Thanks so much for joining us, my friend. Appreciate it and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Jimmy. You too.